But of course, what I really came to Assam to see and study was the art of the hill people. Now, here too, you have a real treasure. It astonishes me to find that you have no proper museum in Shillong or Guwahati. Do you know you can see more of the treasures of Assam tribes in Oxford or Cambridge than you can here? So, the writer is quite mesmerized by the art of the hill people. Okay, this hill people, they are very artistic. They make beautiful things out of bamboo, wood, and natural things. Okay, whatever they get in nature, they make beautiful designs, wood carvings. They can even weave beautiful designs on cloths, and so they are famous for that. And when Verrier Elvin came and studied the hill people, he was really shocked to find their taste for music and culture. Now here too you have a real treasure. He calls this treasure. It astonishes me, that means it surprises me to find that you have no proper museum in Shillong or Guwahati. The spelling is, have you noticed, it's Guwahati. So earlier there were no museums where they could save all these works of art. Now we have a museum in Shillong also, which is very famous. In Guwahati also there are museums where these beautiful things are preserved and kept. But at that time there were no proper museums. So he was shocked that why are these people not preserving their treasures. Okay. Do you know you can see more of the treasures of the Assam tribes in Oxford or Cambridge than you can here? So he is really shocked, you know. He says that actually the Assamese people or the people of this land are not conscious of preserving their own treasures. And he says that some of the treasures are actually carried away and they are found in Oxford or Cambridge in foreign countries. Okay. And like for example, the Vindavani Vashtra, which is kept in a museum in London. Okay, so we are losing our own treasures. We should try to preserve them. Next, it is said that art, of course, is a big word and covers a lot of things. There is the art of works, the art of music, the plastic and graphic art of a country. So art means many things. It is a very broad word. Okay, like if you know to dance, that is art. If you know to sing, that is art. If you know to cook well, that is also art. If you know the art of talking, that is also art. So art can be used in different senses. It's a very broad word. Now take the art of works and music. The other day, very tired after a long climb up a most formidable mountain to a Kabul village, I suddenly arrived at the scene of fantastic and unearthly beauty. So what happened as the writer was walking up a mountain, formidable means big mountain, in a Kabul village in Assam, he happened to see a scene that touched his heart and he experienced some unearthly beauty, some eternal beauty in a great grove of orange trees, some 30 splendid youths, their limbs glowing golden in the setting sun, clad in rich red cloth and having on their heads great white crowns like wings, were marching up and down with spears and chanting ancient melodies that recall the long forgotten world. So what was that sight? He saw some youths, young boys, okay, they were dressed in red and their limbs were glowing in the setting sun. The sun was setting and they were wearing what? On their heads they were wearing crown sort of things which had wings. You must have seen those tribal people, what type of dresses they wear. They wear headgears, okay, covered with koris and wings, feathers and all. And in their hands they carry what? They carry spears. You know spears? Yes, I think you know the term. So they were carrying spears and they were singing something, humming something. And what were they singing? Some chanting ancient melodies that recalled a long forgotten world. He felt mesmerized. He was mesmerized by the song and it was very sweet. Okay, song was melodious. It was a death chant. Death chant, you know, a song sung when somebody dies, and it was one that I should be proud to have sung over my own body when it goes to the dust. So here in the last line, the writer expresses his longing to be a part of the song and to sing such melodious, beautiful song that touches the heart and souls of everyone. He felt some unearthly joy, eternal joy when he listened to that song. Okay. I do not know what were the words which those boys sang, but I feel that someone ought to know. How many books, how many collections have yet been made of the songs and poems of Assam's countryside? These old songs are disappearing rapidly. The schoolboys prefer jazz music from Hollywood. But before it is too late, will not some scholars take the trouble, and it will mean a great deal of trouble, to record these things? There must also be a vast treasure of folk tales and myths in the hills of Assam. How much of it has ever been written down? So you see, a very important point is hinted here. He says that yes, these tribal people, they sang beautiful songs, but how many of us understood what they sang? Because it's a very sad thing that our songs, our music, and the folk tales, stories of our own culture are not preserved well. Okay, he says that we common people, you and me, yes, we can take the initiative of doing that, but there are great scholars of Assam, there are great musicians. They should take the initiative. Otherwise, everything will be lost. For example, the Borgit. How many of us, many of us, maybe the present generation, after a few years will ask, what is a Borgit? They won't know what is a Borgit. They are so much into this modern song, jazz music and all that, they do not have any idea about their own culture. Then the folk tales and all, which were told to us by our grannies. Okay, the Hadu Kothas that are told, the story of Tejimola and other stories, Buriai Hadu. How many of us know? This young generation, after some years, will know nothing about these stories and folk tales. So it is our duty as conscious citizens, as parents, we should encourage our children to read these stories, sing songs, and be proud of our own culture and heritage and try to preserve them. Unless and until this is done, a time will come when we'll have to repent, because we will have nothing which we can call our own. There is another thing that excited me very much, the carving in wood. You know what is wood carving? To make designs in wood. Okay, and it is said that some tribal people of Assam, they were famous for these wood carvings. The Thangkuls of Manipur make splendid decorations on their houses. So what they do, they decorate their houses or adorn their houses with beautiful designs. So do the Maus and Marams. They are different tribes of Manipur. Okay, the Konyangs adorn their morangs. The Angamis make magnificent village gates. So morangs are what? They are types of houses. I'll show you the photos later on. The Angamis make magnificent village gates. They are also a tribe. They make beautiful village gates. Magnificent means beautiful. The Nomes and other tribes are expert in fashioning images and pipes and in decorating drinking mugs or making toys. So they are such skilled craftsmen, you can say. Nowadays we get beautiful mugs and you get them laminated, your names are written there and all. Now we see such designs, but these people, these tribal people, they had that skill or that artistic taste to make designs on mugs and decorate their houses, decorate their gates, and they were really beautiful or magnificent craftsmen, you can say. They used to make pipes and decorate mugs, or they could also make toys out of wood, bamboo. They were famous for those things. Some of these are of extraordinary vigor and beauty. Vigor actually it means enthusiasm. Here it means beauty or magnificence. We should not let it be lost. So the writer says again and again, because he's very much attached to this land. You can see Verrier Elvin. He's not only a traveler who comes and visits this different places and then goes away, but he comes as an anthropologist, studies the culture, the race, and studies the people, especially the tribal people, and he's also very much attached to them, okay, attached to us. And that is why he gives advice also to the people how to preserve their rich culture and heritage. We should not let it be lost. Yet, in how many educational centers is the art of wood carving taught and encouraged? Yes, he asked a very significant question. He says that yes, these people are so much talented. They have that inborn talent, that skill, the craftsmanship in them. But will it be preserved? Suppose you know weaving. Okay, if you do not teach weaving to your children, will it be preserved? My mother knew weaving, my grandmother knew weaving, but if they had not taught me, will I know weaving? So these must be handed down from one generation to the other. It is the duty of our ancestors or our parents or our grandparents to teach us these things to us. And it is really a pity that in our state there are no educational institutions or no centers where these vocational trainings are given, where woodcraft is taught or where different skills are taught. Okay, now it's slowly coming up, and let's see what the new education policy does. But this is very important for the preservation of our culture and heritage.